Liberia is a nation of visionaries with a legacy of industry and creativity. The Liberian Business Alliance is delighted to be in conversation with visionaries who are game changers in their industries. For the next 12 months, we will explore the inspiration and motivations behind their chosen discipline, how we can learn from and support them. And today, we are delighted to present to you our first in the series of sessions titled Visionaries. We will be speaking to creatives. This edition is Visionaries, the creative edition, with distinguished panelists Chantel Victoria, Minister Abena Johnson, Sir Alex Favour Devine Jr. Let's tell you a little bit more about our distinguished panelists. Minister Abena Johnson is a gospel musician and businesswoman. She is a proud mother of 5 and has been diligent and consistent with her chosen path of bringing the gospel, worship, and praise music to honor God as well as to her listeners around the world. Our next panelist joining us today is Sir Alex Favour Devine Jr. Sir Alex Favour Devine Jr. is Liberia's first global goodwill ambassador. He is an educator, media manager, program consultant, and visionary leader with over 13 years of experience in organizational leadership, volunteerism, and consultancy. He founded Youth for Change, Inc. in 2013, an organization whose purpose is to harness the creativity of Liberian youth to make them power holders and accountable for the Liberia we want. Devine is also managing partner of KMTV Liberia Monrovia, a premium media outlet in Liberia that operates an online newspaper and online national television. He is also president and CEO of Devine Events and Consultancy and the visionary behind Liberia's own The Icon that seeks to find Liberians' hidden and undiscovered talent. And finally, we are joined by Chantel Victoria Bright. Chantel is a first-generation Liberian American. Due to the civil wars in Liberia, her family sought refuge in the United States, where she grew up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She has worked and lived in Washington, D.C., but for the last 8 years has lived in the United Kingdom. She has demonstrated technical expertise in research, international development, project management, rule of law, and supporting strategies for inclusion and diversity in academia, with international work experience in Austria, Ghana, Liberia, the Netherlands, Nigeria, and Spain. Chantel is a blogger and the author of the Janjay children's book series on environmental themes. Janjay children's book series has been translated to French by the U.S. Department's African Affairs Bureau Office of Public Diplomacy, Africa Regional Services Nouveau Horizons. The French editions of the books are marketed in French-speaking countries in Africa, Haiti, and distributed to American embassies to support education programs. And without further ado, welcome to Visionaries, the Creative Edition. Welcome to the Liberian Business Alliance Visionary Series. My name is Sabrina Clark Okubanego, and I am the founder and president of the Liberian Business Alliance. What is the Liberian Business Alliance Visionary Series? Over the next 12 months, we intend to look at Liberians doing amazing things for our community, for our country, around the world in various sectors. We're starting with creativity because it's not something that we talk about a lot within our community. Liberians aren't always encouraged to step into creative endeavors. And so it was really important for us as the Liberian Business Alliance to think about and to amplify and to share stories of Liberians who are doing amazing things within the creative industry. You will find
that the people you're going to hear from tonight are multifaceted. So it's not just creativity that they do, they are doing a range of different things. But our conversation today is going to focus on creativity because they're pretty amazing and they're inspiring, and they have been doing significant endeavors within creativity. And so this series is going to be 12 months, as I've mentioned. We will look at different sectors, and we are proud to be able to offer this type of conversation with Liberians in the UK, in Europe, and of course in Liberia. And so tonight, the conversation is going to be led by Dr. Precious Toe, who is the community liaison for the Liberian Business Alliance. She will be introducing our distinguished panelists and everything that they have been doing within their industry and with their endeavors. So with that, I am going to now hand over to our host, our MC for tonight, Dr. Precious Toe, the community liaison for the Liberian Business Alliance.
It's nice to meet you all. So tonight we have Minister Abena Johnson, we have Miss Chantel Victoria Bright, and we have Sir Alex Favour Devine. I was just saying that I loved your name, sir. I just love the whole thing that goes with it. God bless you. So tonight we're going to talk about, like Sabrina rightfully said, the creativity and what we do in our Liberian community. So I'm happy to be hosting this. We have so many things happening in our community, but it's not showcased because our parents expect us to be as certain things that they were supposed to be or they never got to be. So we were supposed to be doctors and lawyers and astronauts, and I don't know if we're ever going to reach there because I don't like the moon, but those kind of things is the perception that they have of us African children. So when your child wants to play football, it's like it's a grown thing. It's a grown-up thing they're doing. So nobody wants their children to be heading that way. But it's okay to support and pay money to watch other people's children doing it. But then your child has to be the doctor. Yeah, that's the mentality. And I'm glad that we're going to throw some light on things like that to let people know that whatever a child becomes is what it's supposed to be. There's nothing we can do to change that. We're just going to go straight into it. So we're going to start with the panelists now. So I will start with the first question. Say, why do you think creativity is important for the Liberian and our community?
In the global context, we can see what's happened when our peers, other West African and African countries have engaged in creative industries and what that sort of revenue has been able to generate for the country. Additionally, we've also seen how that has been able to promote the country in certain sectors. So I'll take like Nigeria or Ghana, some of our neighbors, in which that they have embraced entertainment industries. And as a result, people are now it's globally recognized for like Afro beats and the type of work, even in my space, which is one of the reasons why I got into literature, is that African stories are being told. So I think those are some of the reasons why it's important.
I'll pass the same questions to Minister Abena.
Hi everyone. Ciao a tutti, mi chiamo Minister Abena Johnson, sono liberiana, però cittadinanza italiano e sono una cantante. Grazie. Hi guys, my name is Minister Abena Johnson from Liberia, but based in the UK. I think creativity is something that we need because as we see Nigerians, Ghanaians, and what have you, what they're doing in the society. So as the Liberian as well, we need it because that's going to help our children to grow and to have big visions.
Okay, thank you so much. Can I please pass the same question to you, Sir Alex, please?
I think the first thing I'll say is creativity is so important, first of all, because it helps to diversify the economy. In my country where I live, Liberia, it is more centralized around politics. So when creativity steps in, then it talks about other sector. So whether it's the tourism sector, young people are being more creative in that sector. Whether it's the educational sector, people are thinking differently and bringing new innovation to the table. Whether it's the entertainment industry, young people are coming with some creative ideas to be able to diversify the economy. So once creativity is important because it helps to diversify the economy. All these innovation, creativity, it creates job. Because if I'm in the creative sector, specifically in the music industry, I'm making music, and I have a manager and I have backup singer, whoever I have, all these people get job in a diversified economy. So the first thing is that creativity is important for every country because it helps to create jobs and diversify the economy. The second thing also that creativity does is the fact that it helps to showcase the country in a different perspective. Um, Once people are becoming more creative in the different sector, what is in the architecture area, you get to see Liberians, you get to see their talent being displayed to the world. And, people start to come to Liberia and all of that. If you see a Liberian artist sing a very good song like Sabrina's talked about in the Nigerian industry right now. Look, Nigeria is raising a lot of money from just the entertainment industry. What is the movie industry? What is the music industry? The people are driving. The attention of the world is placed to Nigeria because of their music and movie industry, and that's the entertainment industry. So it also helps to showcase the country to the world to attract investors to come to the country. And so I think creativity is important for every country, and it will diversify the economy, and it will showcase the country in a more different perspective, and that will attract investors to come and invest in the country. So it's important.
Thank you so much, sir. And I think you actually went into the second question. You answered part of the second question because we were going to ask and say, what do you think Liberia creative contribute to the Liberian economy? So you answer part of that, and you rightfully said, in so doing, it will bring in wealth. It will bring in things that nobody expected. And you actually example like Nigeria and South Africa and all that. So that places we go for activities like creativity, singing, and all those things. So I would like to put it to Minister Abena. Do you think it creates the economy? Does it give anything to the economy being creative? You've been in the music industry for so long. What do you think you need to see to help build the economy as well? Because Sir Alex has said a bit of it, so I think you can just build up what he said.
Yeah, for me, let me just talk about what I do and what I haven't seen. I've been in the industry for some time now, and I've been struggling doing my own things. So if we, as Mr. Alice was saying, if we look at other people like different nationality that is around us, the example they show, the things they do, if we pick up that same thing, I think we will get to somewhere.
Thank you so much. Ms. Chantel, can I throw the same question to you, please?
I mean, I think Alex hit some of the major points, but basically just to reiterate about investment and changing the narrative around Liberia, because at the moment or overall, it has the narrative around Liberia is Ebola, war strict, conflict affected. At some point, it was those things were overshadowed by having a female president, but now we have a former footballer. So in some regards, so yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And I just want to, while we're on that note, what inspired you to become creative?
I think my creativity was fostered through my parents. My mom, you talked a little bit, touched on the issue of African parents or Liberian parents wanting their kids to pursue more traditional routes like doctors or lawyers, but my parents never did. They never restricted us to do anything. We pretty much was encouraged to do anything. Since I was a child, was put in dance class. I played the clarinet. I was in the Philadelphia Youth Orchestra. Like, my mom is very creative. Matter of fact, she went to school in her retirement to do the design. interior design. So it was very much encouraged in my family, for example. So I think for me, it's just like a natural, it's just a natural progression. And so my first degree is in English literature. And so I always knew that I was going to like write at some point. I chose the children's book genre because those were the books that um, most impacted me, even till today, and the ones that I remember. And so I also, because of my background in environmental studies, I wanted to be able to bring awareness to environmental issues, but also tell a Liberian story, so that children can see themselves reflected in literature.
So Alex, can I please relate that to you? What inspired you to become creative?
Well, you know that there's this philosopher that I borrowed from Muhammad Ali, and he would say that the word impact, IMPACT, he says is the rent we pay for living. It means that once you are living on this earth, impact is not optional, it's mandatory. Because, and then I try to ponder on that, and it goes further to say from, what I think about when he mentioned that the universe has given us everything. It gave us the sun, the water, the trees. The universe has given everything to us. So when we live and occupy the space on this universe, it is on us to give back to the universe. So your giving back to the universe becomes what is termed as impact. And if what is termed as impact, then means that you it's not optional. You must impact while you're living, because that's a rent you're paying for occupying the space here on earth. Having said that, it is premised on that I am moved, I'm encouraged, I'm motivated to be innovative. Because when I checked around and I see too many things that are happening around me, and I know that I have to be innovative. I have to become a solution to what's happening. And I have to check right in my backyard if people are dying from common things like malaria, and I probably have some education that could solve that problem. I don't need to wait for government. I don't need to wait for anyone. I can use what I know to be able to solve that problem. So I'm inspired by the fact that I see myself as a solution to things that are happening. So that's exactly why I got pushed to become innovative. Just to talk about that, there are two programs here that I initiated, that I developed. Today has stand out to be a national program across the country. The first one that I developed was called the Liberian National Debate Championship. That idea started with just 20 high school, and it started because of some disturbing phenomenon that happened in our country here called Super Friday. And Super Friday was when these young people would leave classes every Friday and would take on to the beaches. And that action resulted to three things. Most of them started getting drowned in the sea every Friday because they would take substances and they go in the ocean, and some of them get drowned. And that was during President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf time. These things were reported over time, and drugs addiction began to overwhelm the young people in our country. And the third thing also was there was a couple of one or two sexual harassment cases were reported. And I knew that the reason why this thing was happening because it resulted as it came up as the result of Super Friday. So I saw that as a problem. Then I say, as a young man, what can I do to help my country? I can just keep putting everything on government. So then how we came on the table and we developed this National Debate Championship. And the basic idea was, you know what? Let's develop a program that will take the young people's mind from the beaches on Friday to somewhere productive. And so the debate platform became that solution. We started with 20 high school in Monrovia in 2015. Today, the debate has gone across the 15 counties. Just the tournament just ended this year, and we deal with 360 high school from across the country, having young people to debate about current issues, national issues, and giving solution to what they feel is an issue to them, but through the Liberian National Debate. So I got inspired because when I see things that are threatening to society, I need to find solutions. So my drive about innovation comes from seeing, community issue or societal issue, and then I get inspired to find solution to solving that societal issue. Secondly, today, one of the second event that I run in Liberia is called the Icon. The Icon was birthed in 2019, and it was just basically, let's create another space to also find young people who have amazing talent in music and poetry. You know, when Jess Sam won the competition in America, the American Idol, and I see how Liberians were excited and changing their profile picture to Jess Sam picture and all of that, I got to realize that Liberians love good things, but to initiate good things and to support good things is what the problem is. So I say, you know what, let me be the sacrificial lamb. The fact that we have Jess Sam being celebrated because America provided her a platform, because the difference between GESM and the many GESM that are across the 15 counties of this country is because America provided a platform called the American Idol. In Liberia, we have many GESM that are across the country, but what we don't have is no platform for them to be seen and to be heard. And so that's how the icon came about. We launched in 2019. The first edition went so well. We had 2 female emerging. We have 100 somewhat entry that came from across the country. We screenlined to 24, and we had 2 emerging as the winner, 2 females. This year, we're currently running the edition 2 that are currently happening across the country again. We are seeing amazing young people.
Wow, thank you. That is so interesting. But what I want us to do, guys, to focus on the creativity part of you. What brought you to the level where you started being the creative person? How you came to realize that you can be creative and get other people along with you. And then we can talk about the projects and everything that comes with and later. So we just want to talk about the creativity, how you got to that level. So I'm going to ask 2 questions in one, and because of time, and I don't want to take all of our time. So I'm going to say to Minister Abena, I know what inspired you to become creative, and how did you start, or when did you start? What inspired you to become creative, and how did you start?
First of all, when I was starting, I didn't thank you guys that organized the program. I want to thank you guys first, because I didn't thank you guys. And to my listener out there that listening to us now. And when I was starting, I spoke a language, which is Italian, because I was trying to introduce myself to my Italian friends out there and to Liberians as well, or around the world. So that's why I started with Italian. And what I'm going to say, what you say at the precious tool, it's my passion actually. When I was coming out, I used to like singing, and from there I started to create. I never used to like singing people's songs, so I started putting 1 or 2 people together and just putting like that. Those days I used to be lying and saying things that I didn't really used to understand, but I was trying to put myself into creativity, as we say now. So I started to teach different kind of songs to my young friends. So up to now, some people say, when they see me in the industry, they say, wow, we're so proud of it. The thing you started from back home when we were young is the same thing you're still doing. So music is my passion. And I started, it was so hard. It wasn't bread and butter, as we can always say. It was so difficult for me, because going to studio, paying money to record, it's not easy. And you find out that you don't have no support, or you're trying to do something that you have passion about. So you wouldn't mind whether somebody gave you money or they don't give you money, because it's what you like to do. So sometimes if you're creating, it's not easy. So I will always go in a sitting room by 1, 2 o'clock while my kids are in bed. That's the time I have to talk. So that's the time I can create, because when I sit up and meditate, I will start to figure out what I can do to make a song. So I think this is my passion. Okay. And it takes your focus to do this, because whenever you want to do something and you have people out there distracting you, because even sometimes your close friends or close relations will come to you and discourage you. But once you focus and you will do exactly what you want to do.
Oh, thank you so much. So then you started producing and creating that.
Creating, yes.
Thank you so much. Chantal, can I please just pass it over to you?
My parents were very instrumental in that. In terms of writing, I used to read a lot as a child. So I was always making like writing plays and acting it out with my older brother, or forcing my nanny to help me, that sort of thing. And so like I've always been, I mean, it was pretty much, I wasn't the only one, my brother as well. So yeah, I think that's where it started. In terms of actually turning it into a project and a book now, I started literally when I was used to live in London, on my commute going into the city, I would just write my book on my iPhone, and with no intentions on when or how I would publish it. But it was just something to do as a pastime on my way in my commute. So that's how I started.
That's good, because that's exactly what I was going to ask you. How did you write the book? What was the process? And you just nailed it. So it's like you're reading our minds. Hey, girl, take it easy. Thank you so much. It's a good one. But let me just, on that note, I want to ask you something before I go to say Alex. What I want to ask you is like the challenges. Did you get to face any challenges within this time of your creativity? How did you deal with the challenges as well while you faced them?
I think the challenge in publishing in general is that it is very white. And so the stories that large publishing houses want to publish aren't necessarily Black stories, and they're certainly not stories from Africa. And so there's a big push in the publishing industry, not just by the books that come out, but also the people within publishing, the editors, the publishers themselves. And so the challenge in that is trying to convince a large industry that your story it should be told and should be published. So those are challenges that are like.
So for someone like myself that is listening, because I'm a writer, but I don't never publish it, it's on my phone as well. And my son does the same thing. So we come to say, how did you find your publisher? Because we know how challenging it is.
First of all, I self-published. So it's just that my book I was lucky enough to like grab the attention of the State Department, for example. And so that highlighted the book, and basically so put it on that platform to be able to be distributed. So what I did was like what I did was get a distribution deal, which would allow you to sell your books on various platforms. So I invested all my money into the project, and it ended up being successful. But I did initially have a publisher, but the problem with what I found with publishing is that I didn't want them to stop my creativity, because they would tend to tell you to take things out and so forth. And I was not willing to compromise that. And so as a result, I left and I said, I can do this on my own, which I did.
Thank you for inspiring our young people out there. So you're trying to say, whatever you want to do it. That's very important. And let nobody take away that which you have birthed out. It is what you are, and nothing can change that. Thank you so much, Shanta. We appreciate that. And I'll go to Sir Alex and I'll say, if you face any challenges in your creativity as well, and then how did you, how did you deal with them, the important issues, how you deal with it when you're being creative? And I will go into a second question, in two-part question. I said, what creative project or milestone are you most proud of after you have gone through all the process and the challenges? What did you come and say, I'm very proud of this that I've done?
I am proud of an idea that started with 20 high schools in Monrovia. And the idea is now across the 15 counties of Liberia. That is the Liberian national debate. I'm proud of that, because I did not believe that what we started with just 20 high school in Monrovia would have expanded to the 15 counties, to allow other young people to benefit from it. So I'm proud of that. Have I experienced challenge or challenges? I think the one major challenge, and almost like Chantel, is how do I convince? Before I came in a space as a young man to work, there were many other young people who have worked or who continue to work ahead of me. And one thing that is so very tall is the fact that is this thing that Liberian young people cannot be trusted. They believe that many of our young people over time has not left a very good record in terms of credibility, in terms of integrity. So if you're coming in this space as a young man, what makes you different from them? What is that thing that you say, oh, I'm different, oh, I'm credible, oh, give me your money? And how do you convince donors? How do you convince individual donors? How do you convince even institution donors? That has always been and remain to be as a major challenge. But have I been able to overcome them? Is one word: consistency and innovation. Over time, like I said, when we started with just 20 high school, and people did not believe that this thing would have grown up to the 15 counties and up to even getting involved with 360 high schools. Today, people look back and say, this guy is authentic. This guy is original. This guy is consistent. When people start to sing these words and say these words, then it starts to attract other people to start to believe in me. So consistency, it was one thing that over time we managed to overcome the challenges of people not trusting us and breaking the barrier of the fact that young people cannot be trusted.
Was there any time in your mind that you say, I'm just going to give up because I'm doing stuff for my people and they don't want to, they're not listening, so let me just give up? Like you said, consistency. Before you get to the consistency, you have to have some doubt to say, you know what, you want to get out of my house. I don't want to do this anymore. Because there's one point in all of our lives where we have to reach to a level that is a breaking point. It will not be all buttery and sweet, isn't it?
No, I think psychologically I was prepared for this journey, because I remember in 2015, my office, if I did not squatting in the YMCA of Liberia, there's a YMCA building. I would squat there from office to office. I have my little computer and I would move from office to office just because I wanted to do this. I didn't have money. And I would pack the chairs and the students would come, they would debate, and I would get excited. I've achieved it. I would not have money. I had 2 staff working with me at that time, and I would give them transportation to pay that way. And I'll have nothing, and I'll walk from Crown Hill Cinema up to 9th Street. I did that consistently for almost 2 years. Nobody believed in the vision at the time. So psychologically, I think I was prepared for that. So it did not hit me hard because I knew I was coming in a space that people did not trust young people. And I wanted to change the narrative. I want to break this narrative. And so it means that whatever I have to do to sacrifice, I have to do that. And so over time, I did not give up. But one thing that I think I like to say that was that has been a blessing is the fact that I've been having the right kind of people to work with me, the right kind of people who believe in the vision. And I always say this thing: a vision owned is a vision sustained. And I've had people who always own the vision. And today, they did not put pressure on me. And because they did not put pressure on me, we all own the vision. And that's I think that's the secret. So I did not reach to a breaking point. But yes, of course, I'm a human being. I get frustrated sometimes when I'm walking the road. I'm like, when this thing will end? When people will look at me? When people will trust the vision? How can I get people to support this idea? I believe in this thing. But hey, I knew that I had to be consistent if I want people to believe in this vision.
Thank you so much. I'm being encouraged tonight. Well, I'm starting my own soon after this program. I'm going to be creative as well. Minister Abena, I come to you, please. And I said, I'm going to just read this out to you. What are the milestones you have faced that you're most proud of?
Yeah, I really faced a challenge when I started this industry. And the challenge that I faced, like analyze and my friends telling me that you should stop this thing. I mean, it's not your calling. Like when I make my first album, there was a lot of criticism, from different angles. They said it's better you sing people's song than to create your own song, because your song doesn't make sense anyway. So it was like, it was a big challenge on me. I don't want to lie to you. And I just said, let me just forget this. Let me just give up. But I have my brother, one of my brother, they call Favour, he kept pushing it. He said, Abena, don't give up. I don't care what people say about your music. Maybe the second one will be good. Sorry. Maybe the second one will be good. So don't be discouraged now. So, I mean, and I hold on to that. His words that he said to me is actually a word was really encouraging. So I hold on to the word and I start doing. So for now, I'm so proud that my album is coming out on the 20th of this month, and I see the good things that God is doing. So I'm so proud of myself.
I'm glad you're proud of yourself. Sometimes you have to give yourself a pat on the back, like Chantel and Alex, you guys. You know, if we didn't have this tonight, I would never know about you guys. Because like you said, we are looking for people all over the world, but we never look in our own communities, in our own spaces. So do you think the Liberian community do support the creativity that they have within the country itself or the communities at large?
I think so. I think now it is. I think now, and I mean, I will um, have to ask Alex on that because he's actually in Liberia. But basically, yeah, I think now people are seeing what, especially in the music industry, what that can do for people. I mean, Liberia has a high percentage of a youth population that in the country is underemployed. So it gives young people opportunities to do something other than get do any like criminal activities. So getting into like the creative industry has been, in my opinion, from the outside looking in, been encouraged. People are encouraging more artists. People are the first time, I mean, for me, someone coming to visit Liberia over the years, back and forth since 2006 or so, there was times when you would only hear Ghanaian and Nigerian music. Now, in the last time coming, I don't even know half of those songs, all Liberian music, which means to tell me that we are embracing our own talents. And that is, I think, is amazing. And even I've seen on social media sort of like the cross promotion where artists are coming, Liberian artists who haven't even really traveled abroad before are being embraced, coming to other places, and other Liberians in either in like the more highly populated areas in the United States are like organizing events for them. So I think that they are, but I mean, I think Alex would be best to to answer that.
So I just like to put in perspective. That is, morally in Liberia, we are embracing. Morally, we are embracing our product. We are proud of Liberian music. We love Liberian music now. We dance to it. When you go to club, it's the hottest thing all in the clubs. When you sit it on pan pan, do you know what pan pan is? And keke, do you guys know what that?
I do. I've been in the KK.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, so when you in those self, when you're sitting in pan pan keke, they're playing it all around. But in terms of financial support locally, you know, unlike how you see a Nigerian investor or someone who has money will just look at it and say, hey, I will invest into you. That we haven't reached there yet, and I'm hoping that we can get there. But the Liberian music are getting good. But in terms of the diaspora, I can tell you for sure, and like you said, you're correct. The diaspora Liberians are owning this thing now. They're bridging the gap. They are affording our own to go in abroad. Of course, you have Panto is in the US. You have what's her name? King Caro is now in the US.
yeah.
They are doing amazing thing over there. So the Liberians in the US have owned this, have grabbed it. They are supporting Liberians, which is super amazing. Liberians here, morally, we're supporting. We have not gotten to the point to give, begin supporting financially, and I can understand because a lot of us don't have money. But the people who got the money here, is more. Most of the people who got money, they're more focused on politics. Sadly, that's where our country is. People can invest $100,000 into politics, but they can invest in the entertainment. I'm hoping that we can get to that point where we can have people investing directly and say, hey, I like this guy, let me invest in them. And sooner or later we can have many of the Davidos. They are great Liberian musicians. You got CRC, you got J Slaw, these are amazing Liberians, but they're still struggling for direct financial support, and I'm hoping we can get it.
So Chantel, before I go to Minister Abena, you as an author, do you think, are you supporting the other authors, and are they supporting you? Do you guys liaise? What do you guys do to support each other? And do you think you're getting the support you need from the Liberian community?
Of the Liberian authors that I know, yeah, I would say so. And to be honest, it's only the ones that I know are female authors. So we have cross promoted one another, had like given each other advice about different things. I think at the moment the most successful Liberian author who is a friend of mine is Wayatu Moore. So I think she's kind of like leading the pack in that lane. So she's written 2 bestseller books. So yeah, so I think so. But I don't know. The thing is, I don't really know. And I don't know. My mom makes fun of me by saying, like, you write in these books, Liberians don't read. So I don't know, like, in Liberia, how much people like who are being like supported and embraced to write in Liberia who don't have access to platforms abroad. I don't know. That I'm not sure.
But I need to get a copy of my book just in case I forget. Let me know how I can get it. Minister Abena, as a gospel artist, where, like you said, in Italy, now you're in London and you've gone to Liberia and done anything, do they support you? Do we, the Liberians, support you? And to get to where you are now, we just need to know. So we know how to, we support you?
Liberians in London, I just got to London, as you just said, and I haven't seen Liberians supporting me. The only person so far that is that's supporting me when it comes to this, Dr. Precious, who is in front of me tonight, and Sabrina as well. At least she do follow me, to share my things sometime. But obviously, Liberian, they never did that before. But you can see the changes now that they're stepping out to see other countries what they're doing. They want to do the same thing, so they start doing it. But one thing I want to say to them, say to we Liberians, if we supporting and want to come and step out and support, we shouldn't do one-sided support, because you can see I will be friend with Dr. Precious before I play Dr. Precious music. I will be friend with Abena before I play Abena music. We shouldn't do pick and choose when it comes to this industry. Let's promote each other in this thing. Let's help each other thing. As we say, the entertainment bring money in the country. So if we help to support each other, I think we'll have a big change in our country. That's what I can say tonight.
Finally, this is the final question, guys. It's been awesome and it's been great. So I'm going to do the question. The last question, it says, what message do you, the panelists, want to leave the Liberian community about how they can support you? That is, you telling us how we can support you and your projects, as well as the Liberian creative community. So how do we do that, and how do you think we can support the Liberian creative community? This is our final question for the night, and I thank you all in advance.
I think just by word of mouth. I didn't reach out to the State Department. I don't know how they found me. I think just from like literal promotion, word of mouth. I think also what we need to do is don't be afraid to reach out to other people within your space, just to have conversations, to collaborate with one another. You can't just expect people to just like start supporting you just like that. You have to like reach out to them and in exchange to support what they're doing and that sort of thing. So I think it needs to be like a mutual exchange, building networks in your spaces. Yeah, so specifically for me, you can order my book from my website, www.chantalvictoria.com. It's also available on other platforms, but I prefer you to order it from my website. So yeah.
Sir Alex, you're in Liberia. How do we support the creative industry in Liberia, and how do we support the project you're doing, and how do people do that?
I think the first thing is that we have to put emphasis on quality, and all creative people have to put emphasis on quality. Nobody, nobody owed you anything. It is based on the quality of what you produce, whether it's in the music, whether it's in the writing industry, whatever it is. That's the first thing. And I would like to encourage all Liberians that are doing an amazing job in the creative sector. Look around, see what people are doing the same thing you're doing. The other people are far ahead of you. Look around and see what they're doing and see as to how can you make yours even more, add quality to it. That's the first thing. Second thing, also social media is there. And Chantel just said, I don't know how they saw me, but she just talked about a website. Chantel has a website. How many Liberians, creative people here, are packaging themselves well? You don't have a website, you don't have a social media handle, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and you're a creative person. So who's gonna see you? So you want to utilize all these platforms. You want to write the story, and that's one thing we don't know here in Liberia. I know something, unlike the Ghanaian and Nigerian. Every time these people, especially for us who are working in the NGO sector, every time they probably want to post something about what they're doing in the community, what they will smartly do is that they will tie that campaign, whether it's cleaner campaign, whether it's child bread, whether it's education, they will tie it to the SDG goals. And they'll write it nicely and put it on social media, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and say, this thing, it was geared towards minimizing or supporting the SDG goals. The whole world is focused right now on the SDG goals. Everyone who got money wants to support the SDG goals. That's how people get huge support. So when you're probably putting a story out there, you want to make it significant. You want to tie it to something relevant and put your story out there. And when people go and read your story and see your picture and see how it aligns to the global crisis, people are easily can jump to it and say, hey, I got to support this person. So first thing is that you must add value and quality to your product or to your creativity and innovation. The second thing also is that you must utilize social media, because that's what it is. It is social media that will connect you to the world and connect you to the support you're looking for.
How do we support you, and how do we find you?
Okay, so like I talk about social media right now, if you follow me, if you check on the Youth for Change, first of all, our NGO is Youth for Change Incorporated. So once you tap Youth for Change INC, you will see on LinkedIn, you will see on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, we have it all there. So you'll follow all the work we're doing. If you want to see my company side, because one of my side is NGO side, which is non-for-profit. The company side is the for-profit, which is the Devine event and consultancy. You can go there and just tap it. You will see Devine's event, or you just tap right now on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram. Tap the icon, THEICON. Everything that we're doing currently on the icon is there. Videos, different things there. And once you go there, you are impressed about what we're doing in Liberia. Hey, be my supporter. I need support. I need support. And I need some of the support I need. May not necessarily be in money, but somehow just share my work. Just show to other people what we're doing here. And that's exactly what I'm doing.
Thank you. And Minister Abena, same to you. What message do you want to leave with the Liberian community about how they can support you and your project, as well as the community, the creative community, the Liberian creative community? So we're over to you.
My newest album is almost up. It's almost out. So buy my CDs. You can get in contact with me on my Facebook, through my Facebook, my Instagram page, and my YouTube channel as well. Yes, you can contact me on those social media if you want to get me. Support me and let's support each other. Go on. For the Liberian people to subscribe, say it's not easy thing. Go on your page, subscribe to what you're doing. Sometimes they close their eye in the past. Sometimes we have to be so transparent on talking these things. We have to help each other as Liberians, because other nationalities are pushing their people out there. You see how they're making it? It's from the people that they have around them. So let's learn how to push one another too. For somebody to take their finger and click to that little button, subscribe, I don't think it's anything difficult. So we are not asking for money, physical cash. If you have physical cash to give us, you can still give us, and we don't say no to that, because for me, I still need money. Because going to studio, recording a track, that's a single track, is 350 pounds. It's not a big play. So if we're not asking you for fun, I see that little subscribe, just press the button, just subscribe.
So I've heard you say subscribe. Now, this is one of the issues we have sometimes. You tell me to subscribe, but I don't know you. I don't know what to subscribe. What's the name of the social media?
My name is Minister Abena Johnson. Sono Italiana, Liberiana. Italian, I mean, Liberian, and I have Italian citizenship. So I'm meta. I have in half.
Thank you. So we thank you all for tonight. Now, you see, one of the things when Sabrina set this up, the questions so we could have asked. And when we ask and say, how do we support you? If someone says to you, who are you? In 5 minutes, you tell them who you are. And they say, oh, wow, this person is really ready to do this. And they're able to support. So like when you say they should support you, press it, but it's always good. You have to be able to say to someone, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram. So when you're supporting yourself on Facebook or putting something up, make sure you put the link there as well. It makes it easy for people to just click and they connect to the next one. And if you have your website, like he said, it works well. Most people don't talk too much because they have the website talking for them and they have the social media hurdles talking for them. Like Chantel rightfully said, go to my website. If you click on my website, you will get my book. I'm preferable you do it that way than go into the medias that have it. And like Business Alliance, the way Sabrina set it up. If you go to the website, everything we're doing tonight, they all line up there. So we also too need to learn how to promote ourselves, whereas when people go on the page, they're able to be attracted by what they're seeing. They're able to say, oh, wow, I need to go further into this person. I need to know more about this person, because by word of mouth, it helps. But if I give someone word of mouth and they don't see what they need to see or what I said about you, they might just decline a little bit and say, Precious was exaggerating or something like that. On that note, I just want to say thank you, guys. I pray that we all get to meet physically. And Chantel, you're just in London here. Please, we need to meet. We got things to do. And Sir Alex, I think the CEO will bring us to Liberia one of these days. And we would love to see you. And thank you, Minister Abena. We look forward to see you on Saturday to celebrate you for your great day. And thank you, Sabrina, for the opportunity to open my crazy mouth. Thank you all so much for listening.
Thank you so much. I'm just going to do a couple of closing remarks. And so, first of all, thank you to the panelists again from Precious to Me to giving your time and sharing your insights. Really, really important conversations to be had. Some of the key themes in listening to you was the importance of inspiration from being a child, that your parents aren't limiting your ability to create, and therefore you're exposed to do the various things that you were called to do. Or if you grew up in the situation where you didn't have that inspiration as a child, that you have the resilience and the grit to be able to not take no for an answer and really pursue your passion and pursue your dreams. I also heard the importance of being able to promote and articulate what it is you're trying to do and being very clear to the community, to your audience about your creativity. A lot of amazing projects and milestones, whether it's the US Department just finding you by chance or starting a debating organization from 15 all the way across to national, or starting from nothing when it comes to gospel music and growing and building your user base. Each of you talked about really strong, resilient points as to why you are in the creative industries. And I think the final point, you were being polite about the support that we can give to Liberian creatives. Yes, it's on the onus of the creative to be able to package themselves. You have to package yourselves. It's on the onus of the creative to have quality. Absolutely. At the same time, it is on the onus of us as Liberians to be able to support our creatives when we see effort is being made, because they are starting from a different place than other creatives. So I think, number one, that's important. And then secondly, it costs you nothing to like, share, and follow. It doesn't cost you anything. Like, share, and follow. Really simple. Chantel, Alex, Abena all have websites, all have social medias. Like, share, and follow. From that point on, if you want to get more mature in your giving, then fine. But it costs nothing to do that. And I think that's where it starts. So thank you all very much for the conversation tonight. As I said earlier, we will be doing a series. So we will focus on another sector in our Visionary series. And that brings us to the end of our conversation. The Liberian Business Alliance is a business and professional network that is open to everyone. So if you want to join, membership is free. www.liberianbusinessalliance.org, and it's at Liberian Business Alliance everywhere. So YouTube, Insta, LinkedIn, same handle, same name. Join us, follow us, so we can amplify your voices. And we are Liberians who are going to continue to support Liberians. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. If I don't thank you, I would be so ungrateful. Tato epemo, tato nyesoa, wole konyo. Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. If I don't thank you, I would be so ungrateful. Thank you, Jesus. Wole konyo. Tato. If I don't tope